Are you ready to hear a story today? All right, then sit back, take a deep breath in, breathe out, and relax. Feel your back touching the back of your chair, couch, pillow. Feel your feet touching the floor. Feel yourself getting curious and ready. Let's begin. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, lived a little princess, and her name was Sunbeam. She had the most loving and wonderful family, and they all admired her very much. Though she was still a little girl, both of her parents wanted her to grow into the most knowledgeable and refined queen that have ever existed, so that when she grows up, she would rule her kingdom wisely and gracefully, and would take a good care of its many cities and citizens. Princess Sunbeam loved thinking about it and loved talking about this inspiring big future plans with her parents. She couldn't wait to grow up and learn everything she needed to know to become a queen of the kingdom. Princess's grandma was her biggest fan. To inspire her studies, the grandma commissioned the best jewelers to make a real crown for the princess. The crown turned out even more gorgeous and sparkly than expected, and the princess was proudly wearing it every day to her classes as a symbol of her important future mission. The grandma was always there to help the princess with her homework and was explaining things to her when the princess had a question in such a simple and understandable way. It was really easy and fun to get things done, with the grandma smiling lovingly by her side. The father king was very happy with his daughter's progress in the kingdom advanced science studies, and showered her wonderful teachers with lavish gifts to show appreciation for their great job. Then one especially cold and windy winter day, the grandmother got sick and she died soon thereafter. The princess became very sad that her grandma is no longer with her. She was no longer by her side to support and encourage her as before. Princess wasn't showing her sadness to anyone. She wasn't crying. She just didn't seem to be the same cheerful Princess Sunbeam anymore. The time was passing by slowly, and the most days the weather was rainy and the sky was cloudy in the kingdom. The Princess Sunbeam completely lost interest in any of the kingdom science classes, and even a mere thought of becoming a queen seemed unpleasant and didn't warm her heart anymore. She became quite upset with her teachers and told her father how incompetent and bad-mannered they were. She told him they cannot even explain anything well to her and only ask her to do more and more of the useless and boring homework all on her own, all the time. The king got angry with the teachers and sent them away. He replaced them with new teachers. The new teachers were even more distinguished, so they would do better job teaching his beloved princess everything she needed to know. But Sunbeam didn't like the new teachers at all and was not learning much. She felt the new teachers were just awful and wanted to explain to her father that. But this time the father did not seem to believe her. The princess felt misunderstood and very lonely in this sad kingdom and thought of maybe running away from home somewhere where she does not even have to be a queen. Somewhere where people would understand her better than here at home. One day, when the spring flowers just began to open to the sun, the princess looked out of her window and noticed that their garden looked like a huge pink cloud. She did not understand. When she looked a little longer, she realized that those are pink flowers covering cherry trees, a lot of them, all blooming. The garden looks sunny and inviting that way. The princess liked it. She went outside, and all of a sudden there was a cute black puppy on the porch with big ears and fluffy tail. He ran right to her and licked her fingers, asking to play together. The puppy was funny, and the princess laughed for the first time in a long, long time. She followed the puppy to the garden, and they looked at each other, and it felt like they'd known each other for a long, long time. They started running after each other in the garden and were having so much fun The princess was laughing non-stop, watching the puppy jump and run around in circles. She would throw him a stick, and he would catch it and bring it back, and then grab it and run away with it again and again. They were running so fast, so they didn't even notice how they both slipped on the grass and fell into the pond. They got soaked wet in the cold water and climbed out of the water fast. All of a sudden, it felt cold and shivery. Then the puppy stretched his body, pressing the paws to the ground, and jiggled fast from side to side, shaking off all the water. The princess was mesmerized, watching how a million shiny drops rose up around him like a halo of diamonds and then vanished into thin air. That was amazing. The princess tried to do the same. First, she shook the water off her head and saw the sparkly drops of water flying off her hair. Then she shook off her body, trying to imitate her puppy, and the sparkly mist of tiny drops raised over her and disappeared. That was magical. They kept taking turns shaking off the water and looking at each other until they became dry and felt really warm and really energized. The princess noticed that somehow the garden feels different now. The sky looks so bright blue, and the smell of flowers is so sweet and strong. The birds are singing louder than before, like the time stopped for a moment. And then the princess and her dog continued running and jumping even faster than before, until they both got tired and fell peacefully asleep right on the grass. When the princess woke up, before going to her class that afternoon, she quickly ran to her room, found her sparkly crown, and put it on. She paused for a second before opening the door to her classroom to greet the teacher. She quickly shook off her body, imagining a cloud of diamond drops rising above above her, and smiled. The teacher was very surprised that day how easily and quickly the princess did all the assignments without making any single mistake. Imagine how surprised the teacher became the next day when the princess came to the class fully prepared, wearing her shiny little crown the grandma gave her and smiling mysteriously about something.